at me something? I'm gonna wait for someone to kind of say something before I jump in. I don't know if anyone is here, but first of all, if anyone is here, let me introduce myself. I am the infamous Mesmer Heart, aka Tony. This is my very first live stream. I am just gonna wait. Hopefully, someone will show up here and we can talk. And there's my girl. Hey, baby. Well, since I have the one viewer right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just talk and do my intro. And if you or anyone else has any questions, go ahead and just jump in. Yeah, I am a little nervous doing this. This has been a year in the making, but I am happy to do this. Um, I guess the first thing I want to do is start talking about my name and why I go by what I go by. My nickname for most of my life, I've always gone by Tony. That's what most people know me by, but I guess the biggest thing is we all have different nicknames we've always gone by. My born name is Antonio, as in Banderas, Antonio Montana, the cockroach, the people that kill people. You know who we're talking about. You know what we're talking about. But like I said, I was born in Antonio, always went by Tony. Um, as I was growing up, I developed and adopted the nickname Paladin, which to me has always meant a knight of God or a holy knight. That is something I've always loved. And there is my boy, Stone Monkey. Thank you for showing up, brother. It's so good to see you here. Just started talking by names. Like I said, I've gone by Paladin most of my life. I've used Antonio as more of a professional name throughout my life and my career, but I've always had affinity for Paladin. I've always loved dragons. Anyone who knows me knows I have a huge affinity for dragons. Um, that's what partly brought me to Magic was playing dragons. Strange enough, when I first started back in the old days, I didn't play a lot of Red, which is where the dragons come from mostly. But now I do. Now in my second joining of Magic, I do play a lot of dragons. Nicol Bolas is my favorite dragon, of course. What I do plan on doing later on the line, doing videos, I will start showing off a lot of my collection, showing off my cards that I have, Bolas's, some artwork, other things. But back to the name situation. Um, as I started growing up, I started doing a lot of separation of my names. Um, Tony was always personal, Antonio was professional. I also use Antonio for another purpose, but I won't go into that right now here in the chat. Um, when I started joining the YouTube community, I always just use my name because I just use YouTube for videos I liked watching. I never really took place. I never really jumped in chat or streams or anything like that. So it was just me. After a while, I wanted to start jumping into streams, and I want to say now it's probably close to 3 to 4 years ago. I started watching Unsleeved Media. Back then, I believe it was MTG headquarters with Jeremy. He was awesome. I loved the way he chatted. Um, he's kind of the one that really got me hooked on YouTube. He also helped me through a lot of personal uh, difficulties I was having. He was always cheerful and happy and cracking packs, and that's one thing I really admired about him and really loved about him. He was always funny and insightful and just a pleasure to talk to. I've had the pleasure of chatting with him a few times. He is probably one of the most knowledgeable Magic players I have ever met, and I'm proud to have called him a friend at times. Um, After about a year and a half of watching Jeremy, he brought me to um, MTG Purple, infamous Mike Catcher. Um, Mike, if you ever do end up watching this video, I want you to know that you are a huge inspiration to me doing this live stream for the very first time, joining the Magic community. I can never thank you enough. I know that you do your thing now, I do my thing now, so I always want to wish you the best, and I'll always have love for you and Carly. You were always awesome to me, so I thank you for that. Now, the weird thing with names is when I started really getting used to being in his live streams, chatting, and everything else, it became very evident that I wanted to choose a nickname. And I wanted to go either by Paladin or by the Dragon. Well, Paladin never seemed to click. It didn't roll off the tongue in chat, so that kind of dismissed. Then I was like, okay, we'll do Dragon. Well, of course, he had another dragon that was already predominant in his stream. So I decided to go for the blind Hypno Dragon because, as some of y'all will know, I am a recreational hypnotist. Been doing that now for 15 years. So I wanted to go blind Hypno Dragon. Well, it became shortened to Hypno, so that became my persona online for quite a while. Shortened always to Hypno, which that is, if you ever go back in my streams or you talk to anyone that knew me back in the day, that's what they'll always know me as. But now we go into the name I've chosen now, which is a reflection of, I think, all aspects of my life. We have three parts of it. We'll go part by part. Of course, MTG is Magic of the Gathering. That is my love, my passion, something I love playing. It's a lot of fun to play Magic of the Gathering. It's a lot of times it's my escape, and it is my peace. Although now I have more peace in my life and um, passion. I know you're there. Just know that I love you and thank you for being my support the last few months, and I don't know where I'd be right now without you. So thank you very much. We take the second part, Mesmer, which is an affliction to my hypnotic ability, and of course, Heart is that's me, and that's I wear my heart on my sleeve. I have always been the huge heart guy. Um, I used Mesmer Heart throughout my chatting for the last 15, 20 years. And whenever I would go in chat, that was always what I was known by. I've had several ask me lately, does it have anything to do with Guild Wars? No, I've been using Mesmer Heart since before 2000, so I've had that name for a long time. It is a part of who I am and part of what I do in my life. But all three parts now fit perfectly, and I am glad to have that as my moniker going forward. So that is my name story. I know there's very few people in chat. Do either of you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask me? My life is an open book, folks, so ask what you want. Kyle, I know you're there in the chat. If you can give me an idea, I would definitely want to give you and Passion wrenches So y'all can be admins here in the chat. So if you can kind of let me know how to do that, I would be really appreciative. What I plan to do in the future is I would like to stream maybe once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. But what I want to do now is to give back to the community that has been so good to me in the past, the community that has embraced me. Ah, that's what I figured. Of course not. Can't do anything on my phone. Thank you, Kyle. I'll look into that down in the future. But what I do want to do is I want to get back. The one thing I've noticed about the Magic community, especially in the last 2 3 years, not a problem, Kyle. I appreciate it. What I've noticed over the last 2 3 years is the Magic community has become very divisive, very divided, very toxic in a lot of ways. I see a lot of infighting. I see a lot of bickering, and he said, she said, a lot of negativity, and I don't see that. I've never seen that out of the community. I always wanted positive. I wanted friendliness. I wanted communication. I wanted camaraderie. I've always found that I wanted to be a huger part of the community because that is exactly what Magic is to me. It's community. It's fun. It is sharing a passion for something that we all love and just being around other people. Most people who play Magic, we're geeks, we're nerds, we're dorks, we're all of that. And I own that. I know I'm a geek. I know I'm a dork, and I've been like that all my 43 years, and I'm proud of that fact. But I see the negativity, I see the anger, I see the animosity. And mind you, some of it is it's accepted, is earned, but I don't want that. I want to be a safe haven. I want to be a warm, inviting, non judging, welcome community. That's all I want to be. I want to share my ideas for decks. I want to share my ideas of what's going on in the expansions. Um, I don't play a lot of what you would call formats. I don't play standard or modern or anything else. I just play what I like playing. Um, my best friend in the world, Raul Chavo, if you ever get this chat, I hope you do. Um, he's the one that brought me into EDH. And yes, it is EDH. It's not Commander to me. It is always going to be Elder Dragon Highlander because that's how I learned, that's how I started, and that's how it was what's going to be. So that's mainly the main format I play. Everything else is just what I want to build. Yes, definitely tabletop Magic. Um, Back in the early '90s, I played tournaments. I didn't play a lot of what you would say just I played tabletop with my friends, but there's two or three of us that actually were tourney worthy. I didn't play Moxes, I didn't play Lotus, I didn't play Power Nine, but the decks I had were pretty nasty. The fact that no one wanted to play me, that was always a welcome feeling. To feel the hate around me, that just you ever get that feeling that you know that you're so good that everyone just looks down and you're like, I don't want to play against him. He's just too good. That's the feeling I get. Especially when I can power through a group of players with a power deck. That's always a lot of fun. Exactly. Just play what you have. That's all I've ever done. Um, so that's what I mainly do now as I play what I want to play. I probably have maybe a dozen constructed decks, maybe up to 15, and I'm always looking to build on other decks. But what I want to do here is we're going to talk Magic a lot. I'll talk some finance, I'll talk some deck tech, I will talk some just normal thoughts of what's going on in the community, as well as other issues going on with Magic players. Yes, back in the '90s, it would be called Type 1, Type 2, and I played a lot of Type 2, which was a lot of current rotation plus a lot of power cards. I never could play Type 1. I never could afford Moxes and Lotuses and Power 9 cards. Still can't to this day. In fact, the only Power 9 card I ever had, and I do have record of this, I owned a Beta Time Twister. It was beat all hell, but it was a proud moment to own a Time Twister. I think I owned it for like 2, 3 months before I traded it off for a large amount of cards, a lot of power cards. So, I did own that, but that's what I'm going to be doing here as far as Magic. I also will be showing off some collections. We're going to be talking about some dice I have, some books, some things that always interest me. I'll kind of talk about those here. For those that don't know, I am also a wrestling fan. I watch a lot of pro wrestling, WWE mostly. I watch, excuse me, some ROH, some of the locals wrestling scene here, reality wrestling, Booker T's promotion here in Houston. Um, I watch a lot of whatever I can get my hands on. I try and watch New Japan when I can. Um, I also want to try and talk some wrestling. Maybe once a week I'll just share a quick 5-10 minute video of what I've seen as far as wrestling, what I am hoping to see out of wrestling, predictions for pay-per-views, things like that. I expect in November to reinstate my WWE Network subscription, so I'll talk more about it. Yes, Kyle, I live here in Texas. And you're absolutely right. WWE is not as fun as it used to be. Um, I love WWE back in the Attitude Era, the days of the over the top characters where you had people like Shawn Michaels in his finest, Triple H, Undertaker, going back even farther back, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man. Yes, by the Gulf City. Yes. Kyle, you know this. You know I've lived in Houston. You know that, brother. But yeah, I would like to do some talking about wrestling. Um, I evidently see that someone will be interested in that, so I'm happy to do that too. Um, Getting back to a little bit of magic, I might talk a little finance. Um, I don't follow a huge amount of trends. It's so weird talking and then seeing the chat pop up. Kyle, you know you're welcome here in Houston anytime, and I'll show you a good time. Yes, all hail the blue whale. All hail the stone monkey. All hail the blue whale. All hail Mesmer Heart. We will go with all that. And Kyle, I know I said this earlier, but thank you for showing up in the stream. It means a lot to me. Um, yeah, so that's a lot of what I have planned. We're going to talk some wrestling. We're going to talk collections. If anyone ever has any suggestions about what they want to talk about, I am more than open to talk about anything. Um, if anyone's interested, my Twitter is in the description here. It's also in my bio. I also have my Facebook group where I talk about mostly magic, but we talk just a little bit about everything. Um, we're all inclusive. We're all about fun. We're all about poking jokes at each other and goofing off and being silly and being stupid. But I think that's what community is all about: sharing and having fun. You have always shown me love and respect, Kyle, and I always want to show it back. That's one thing that some of our predecessors may not have done or do anymore. You never forget where you came from. You never forget who got you there, and you never let them forget that you've forgotten them. Uh, that means so much to have friends and family and loved ones that are there with you and there for you. And I have talked to a lot of old schoolers. Stone, you know that I've talked to you and Cinder, and I've talked to Shan Judo a lot lately. Um, he is studying now, but he says that he will stop in the stream whenever he can. Passion saying, "Do I have a favorite card?" Oh goodness, my favorite Magic card of all time. It depends on my mood. Um, when I came back into Magic, I think the very first card I fell in love with was Cruel Ultimatum, which, when you swing with it, it is a game changer. You gain life, you draw cards. Um, I think you get to put a creature back into play, and then an opponent loses a creature, they lose cards, and they lose life. It's a swing either way. Judo was doing good, and I talked to him 2 3 days ago. He is doing very well. His little boy is growing up real big. I think he finishes his study November 3rd, so in about a week. So I think he'll be making appearances here and there. So yeah, Cruel Ultimatum was always a card that jumped me back into Magic. I just fell in love with it. I thought that was such a powerful, powerful card. Of course, it's got a high casting cost, but it's very, very powerful. You go back to the old school. I think my favorite card, and still to this day is one of my favorite cards. It's going to be Stasis. Stasis is a lockdown. To be able to not untap your resources, they are basically stuck in limbo. And if you can work the combo around that where you can unlock and they can't, or you can swing the lock in your favor, that is mind numbing. I saw a video about 2 weeks ago of a show called Spellslingers. It talks about players playing Magic the Gathering. The host is a tool. I will say this. I'm not big on the host of the show, but they do play Magic, and he played uh, a blue deck a while back. I know I posted in my group, but he played a blue control deck, and he actually won with it. And after saying he hated blue for so long, he actually won with it. And that is what blue is all about. It is about hate, it is about control, it is about the nastiest plays you can make, and that's why I love it. I think my favorite card art wise is one I collected a while back. It's not even a powerful card, it's just a beautiful card. I have it in foil, it's a Quicksilver Dragon. I think in foil it just is gorgeous. I will show it off here probably in Twitter, and maybe when I do a collection video, I'll definitely share what that card looks like. Gonna see if I can see anything else I missed maybe in chat. No, we're good. Kyle, I know you and I haven't talked very much lately. How's your family doing? I know that you work a lot of hours and you are always busy, especially with your Discord. And I know that you stay busy with work and family and everything else. So I hope everyone is doing okay on your side. I'm glad to hear that, Kyle. I'm really glad to hear that. Um, I'm just looking at the timer. We're at about 23 and a half minutes. So we'll wait another 6.5, 7 minutes. If it's just going to be the three of us, then I will shut it down at 30. And yeah, I think we're going to be good there. I do want to share a story. Oh, why is that, Kyle? Why are you feeling so bad? I'll wait for you to respond, and I'll just kind of share another story that I wanted to share. The idea for me doing videos kind of took off last year with MTG Purple. He actually inspired me to start doing some videos, and I actually did a couple here and there, mostly joke videos, but I did. But I wanted to do more videos because I wanted to become part of the community. That's always what I've wanted to be, is a part of the community. And I actually set dates. I think it was going to be October 15th where I was going to start doing videos. And I had a lot of heartbreak a year ago. I had an ex who literally just tore my heart out, and I wasn't feeling right. I wasn't feeling happy. I was just completely brokenhearted, and I didn't want to, um, do videos. I'm glad you woke up for the stream. What's up, Trash Fire, my homeboy? Oh my God, I haven't talked to you in such a long time. Thank you for joining the stream, brother. It is a pleasure to have you here. Um, I was talking about how long I've been wanting to do this. The idea of just being part of the community has always been a huge part, but for those who don't know me, I'm very socially awkward. I have been socially awkward all my life. It's something that will never leave me. It's something a part of who I am. But I know now that I have a lot of very good friends. I have family, and y'all are just incredible people. I needed to find the strength to do this. And yes, Kyle, Trash, Fire, Passion, the three of you are huge inspirations to me. And um, I've always wanted to do this. And I was nervous jumping into this. I had to put myself out there. I really did. Um, will you see my face in a lot of videos? No, I don't think you'll see a lot of face in my videos. I never consider myself very handsome, but I know what I do have to offer. I try and be a good guy. Anyone who knows me knows I'm the good guy. I try and be the good guy. So you need people like me. You need the good guy here in your life, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be the good guy, even with my horrible, horrible Tony Montana Scarface impression. I'm always the good guy. You know. Um, every time I decided to do the video, I would take another blow, an emotional blow, a physical blow. Um, it became very nerve wracking and very, very depressing at times. I've had a lot of very bad times in my life, but I think they're starting to fade away. Um, one thing that, as I can see in the video, thank you, brother. Appreciate that, Trashy. It's always good to hear that. I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm looking in the video, and I can actually see, if anyone can see, my right eye. Um, I am legitimately half blind. I cannot see out of my right eye almost at all. I have maybe 5% peripheral vision right here in the corner of my eye. It doesn't work all the time, but it's basically non functioning. I call my right eye Ed because he's special, and yes, he's very special. My left eye is not perfect, but it does see. But that's why my right eye just does not react the way other ones do. So it's very. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you saying that. I may not have physical handsomeness, but I know what I have to offer, and believe me when I say this, that you enhance everything I have in my life. I will never regain vision in my right eye unless it's a complete transplant, which there's just no way I'm ever going to afford that. Um, my left eye is stable, so it stays the way it is. You have made me smile, all three of you tonight. And I hope that anyone who watches this video later on the line, I hope they get the same joy that y'all are bringing me. Um, I have so many stories to share with y'all: magic stories, gaming stories, um, D&D stories. I'm also a D&D player, although it's been many, many, many. It's been a couple, 2, 3 years since I played. Um, Me and another good friend of mine are talking about doing a game. He'll be the GM. I'll be a player, and it's a world that him and I are creating. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to playing some more Magic. I'm looking forward to sharing my life and my thoughts and my feelings with y'all. That's right, Trashfire. I only surround myself with great people. That's all I've ever done. That's all I'm ever gonna do. Great people make this world turn around. Okay, we are hitting the 30-minute mark. I have things I want to say for right now. So if any of you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything y'all got. Or if there's anything you want to say, I'll definitely chime in on what your thoughts are. It is open mic. Whatever y'all want to talk about. Jeopardy music playing in the background. So in case you haven't heard that, yeah. What part of the world do I live in? Well, as Kyle found out, I live in Houston, Texas. I live in the southeast part of Houston, Texas. I am actually about an hour away from Galveston Beach and the Gulf of Mexico, so I'm very close to the water. We have been very lucky where I live that we've had hurricanes the last couple of years. We had Harvey last year, but we did not get any damage, so I'm very lucky in that point. Um, I honestly see myself in the next year or so making a trip to the great Northwest to see my beautiful cleric, my beautiful passion. I am looking forward to seeing you out there one day. I know we haven't talked about that yet, but we will. We'll talk about that soon. Nice. I like living in Houston. I think there's a lot to offer. There is a lot of things to do. Uh, it is very hectic life out here. It is just you don't stop. You're always on the go. And with me and my family, we're always doing something for the most part. Um, I do love the culture. There's a lot of delicious fast food out here as well as restaurants. Um, I wish I lived closer to a comic book shop or a magic shop. The closest one I live, the closest one to me is about 10 minutes away. And as I can't see and I can't drive anymore, it's very difficult to get to a game store. My local LGS, and they're not paying me to say this, it's Strike Zone here in Houston, Texas, off of Scarsdale. I do visit there maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks. I do a little bit of business with them. But as far as purchasing, I do a lot of stuff on eBay through TCG Player. That's where I buy most of my cards. Still buy these cards these days. What else? Passion, you're saying too far away. You're talking about time as far as coming out there, or am I just too far away physically? And I think the answer to both of them is yes. I know I have at least a couple of Magic players in chat right now. I know um, Trash. I know the Snow Monkey. I know you both play Magic. Have either of you ever played in tournaments? Because I know that I have a friend that she's talking about doing going to some Magic Fest as they're called now, which that's a tough video to do like a Grand Prix or something. And I have thought long and hard about jumping back into competitive Magic. I don't see it happening. I really don't because it's too expensive and it's just too much energy. Okay, Trash Fire. Thank you for coming in, brother. It's great to have you. So, how did you do at Grand Prix, um, Kyle? I can honestly say I've never won a tournament. Even back in my tourney days, back in the mid '90s, I didn't win any tournaments. I played well, but I never won tournaments. That's the way it is, brother. That's the one thing I wanted to talk about. And I mentioned this very early on in the video. Magic to me, it is not a career. I don't see how it can be a career. It just doesn't work well with me like that. Magic is fun. Magic is camaraderie. Magic is community. Magic is a lot of what D&D was back in the day when I used to play a lot of actively in the early mid 90s. It is about groups of people coming together with a shared passion, a shared interest, and having fun. It's about having your Funyuns and your Mountain Dew, or your tea and your snacks, your junk food from Jack in the Box, your junk food from McDonald's, and just picking out, having fun, playing. To me, it's just like a board game or a poker or something like that. That is what Magic is. And that's what I'm saying, baby, the passion. That's Magic. It's not about being good. And trust me, I will teach you. When we get together, I'll promise I'll teach you. I've already started figuring out what I want, what I'd like you to play. But we'll talk about that down the line. Okay. Any other questions? That was kind of led me into a good place. All right. I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for tonight. Please forgive me. My throat's dry. I'll get something to drink here in a moment. But I do want to thank everyone who watched this video, who was able to join me live. Anyone who will watch this video later. Blue and black. Oh gosh, no, baby. I think I see you as more. I can see you with some blue, white, green, which of course green to me is an evil color. I know. Even when I played back in the original days, I played mostly blue white. Later, brother. I'm fixing to shut this down here in just a minute. I just want to say my goodbyes and of course finish this last thought. Um, I have always played blue. That's always been the color I've jumped in. Um, White has always been a good color, but now I play a lot of blue, black, and red. It's just I follow Grixis as much as I can. It's just that's where I think my abilities are really focused to. Um, the first deck I bought when I came back into Magic back in we're now in 18 in 2014, late 2014, was Mind Seize, a commander deck, which was sick and powerful. Still is to this day, and I reformed it. But yeah, we're here at nearly 40 minutes. If you've made it all the way to the end of the stream or end of the video, I want to thank you for just spending time with me. I do promise that every response, every question, every comment that's left for me, be it here or on Twitter or in my group or what have you, I will make sure and respond and just show you appreciation for just spending time with me. That's all I ask. If you've enjoyed it, let me know if you enjoyed it. If you haven't, let me know that you haven't enjoyed it and tell me what I can do better. Because I'm always trying to improve myself, and I want to be better, not just for me, but for all of you. Um, I send my love, I send my affection, I send my appreciation, my gratitude. And remember, we are community. We will always be community. Tap. I love y'all. Thank you.